Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're diving headfirst into the world of biofabrication.
Ooh, exciting.
It is exciting, and specifically a new platform called CHIMERA,
Okay.
which honestly blew me away when I was reading this article in the 3D printing industry.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
It's pretty amazing the stuff they're doing.
Absolutely.
And the potential of this is just incredible, like building complex living tissues, but 30 times faster than we can now with amazing precision, all in one streamlined system.
Yeah, it's really remarkable the way CHIMERA is bringing together 5 different biofabrication techniques, each with their own strengths, and it's like having a whole bioengineering toolbox, but just in one system.
That's a really good point, because the article lists out like 3D Bio-ElectroSpraying, 3D Cell-ElectroSpinning, 3D Bio-ElectroJetting, 3D melt cell ElectroWriting, and like even standard 3D extrusion bioprinting all working together.
Yeah, all in concert. It's really kind of a lot to wrap your head around.
It is a lot.
But it's so cool, though.
It is cool. So what does all this mean for researchers who are working on creating new tissues and therapies?
Well, I think it's all about removing those hurdles that researchers face when they have to use separate devices for each of those techniques, you know?
Yeah.
So CHIMERA is really streamlining that process and saving time and resources, and then potentially leading to faster breakthroughs.
Yeah.
So think about it. If we can reduce that research time, we can get life-saving treatments to patients faster.
Oh, for sure. And it's not even just about speed, because the article highlighted CHIMERA's ability to keep a 98% cell viability rate across over 56 cell types, including stem cells.
Wow.
So what makes that level of viability so important when you're building tissues from scratch?
Well, it's really all about cell health. So if you can imagine building a house, viable cells are like your strong, healthy bricks.
Okay.
And CHIMERA uses a really gentle approach, which keeps those cells happy. And that's crucial for building functional tissues and organs, because traditional methods like extrusion-based bioprinting can actually damage cells during the process. That can lead to lower viability and less successful outcomes.
So it's like CHIMERA is giving those delicate cells a first-class ride during the building process.
Exactly. And that translates to stronger, healthier tissues that are much more likely to function as intended.
Okay. But get this. The article says that CHIMERA can build these tissues with nanoscale resolution down to 50 nanometers.
Wow.
Which is insanely tiny, even smaller than the width of a human hair. So why is that level of detail so important in biofabrication?
Well, think about the intricate structure of natural tissues.
Yeah.
We've got blood vessels that are just a few microns wide, and within those vessels, even smaller structures.
Right.
So to truly replicate the complexity of living tissues, we need to be able to work at that microscopic level, and that's what CHIMERA allows.
Yeah, it's almost like they're weaving tissues with the finest thread you can imagine. And the possibilities don't even stop there. The article also mentions that CHIMERA can encapsulate cells, cell clusters, genes, and even gene clusters. So what are the potential applications for that kind of control over biological building blocks?
Well, this level of control opens doors to things like personalized medicine and cell therapies. So imagine creating tissues that are tailored to a specific person's genetic makeup for drug testing, or even growing replacement tissues using a patient's own cells.
Oh, wow. That's like taking personalized medicine to a whole new level. It reminds me of when I was reading about a team that used 3D ice printing to create blood vessels. They were literally using ice as like a template to build these delicate structures. It's mind-blowing.
It is. It's pretty ingenious.
But is that kind of like the same type of innovation that we're seeing with CHIMERA, or is it taking things in a different direction?
They're both fascinating examples of how researchers are finding new ways to build complex tissues.
Yeah.
But while the ice printing technique is great for creating vessels, CHIMERA's strength is in its versatility.
Okay.
It's not limited to one type of tissue or one structure.
So it's like the Swiss Army knife of biofabrication.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. CHIMERA gives researchers all the tools they need to really explore a huge range of possibilities, from those intricate blood vessels to creating functional organ models.
That's awesome.
And it's all happening way faster and with higher precision than ever before.
That's amazing. And speaking of innovation, the article also mentioned a group at the University of Sydney that are using photolithographic printing to create human tissues that resemble real organs.
Oh, yeah.
So how does that research tie into what we're seeing with CHIMERA?
Well, I think it just speaks to the incredible pace of progress in biofabrication. While CHIMERA offers a very versatile platform, this photolithographic approach really showcases the level of control we're getting over cell differentiation. So by using light to guide stem cells, researchers are basically directing the formation of specific tissues with really remarkable accuracy.
It's like they're conducting an orchestra of cells, guiding them to create whatever structure and function they want.
It really is.
But let's get back to the minds behind CHIMERA. The article mentioned Professor Suanjaya Singh, who's the founder and CSO of Ourobionics, along with Dr. Stephen G. Gray and Dr. Ali Shishtari. What can you tell us about this team and their journey to creating CHIMERA?
Well, they're pioneers in the field of biofabrication. Professor Jaya Singh's work at University College London, combined with the expertise of Dr. Gray and Dr. Shishtari from Imperial College London, led to developing the core technologies that make CHIMERA possible.
So it's a real testament to collaboration and just scientific ingenuity, bringing together these brilliant minds from different institutions to create something truly groundbreaking.
For sure.
But it's not just about the science, right?
Right.
What are the potential implications of a platform like CHIMERA for the future of medicine?
Oh, the implications are vast. I mean, if we can reliably build functional tissues and organs in the lab, it could completely revolutionize organ transplantation.
Oh.
Like, imagine a future where patients don't have to wait for years for a donor organ facing that constant risk of rejection, but instead, they can receive a bioprinted organ grown from their own cells.
That would be a game changer for so many people.
Mm.
But printing a fully functional organ, that sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Yeah, no, it's not science fiction anymore. It's an active area of research.
Wow.
And platforms like CHIMERA are bringing us closer every single day.
Oh, wow.
We've already seen success with simpler structures like bladders and skin grafts. The challenge now is scaling up the complexity and ensuring the long-term functionality of larger, more intricate organs.
So it's like we've built the foundation and now we're trying to construct the skyscraper.
That's a great way to put it. And with each successful experiment, we're gaining valuable knowledge and refining those techniques. CHIMERA's ability to create those complex vascular networks, for example, is a crucial step towards building organs that can be integrated into the body's circulatory system.
Oh, that's fascinating. So speaking of pushing boundaries, what about the potential to go beyond simply replicating existing organs? Could we one day design and print tissues with enhanced capabilities? Like imagine bioengineered lungs that can filter pollutants more effectively, or artificial cartilage that's even more durable than the natural kind.
That's where biofabrication gets really exciting, I think. We're moving beyond simply copying nature to actually improving upon it.
Wow.
So yeah, imagine designing tissues with specific properties tailored for individual needs.
Right.
Like a bioprinted skin graft that heals faster, or a heart patch that actually regenerates damaged tissue.
That's incredible. But while we're kind of dreaming big here, let's bring it back down to earth for a moment. The article really focused on CHIMERA's potential, but are there any real-world applications happening right now?
Oh, absolutely. While CHIMERA is still relatively new, research labs around the world are already using it to create complex tissue models for drug testing, studying diseases, and even exploring new regenerative medicine approaches.
Oh, wow.
Think of the possibilities for personalized medicine. If your doctor could test potential treatments on a bioprinted replica of your liver or your kidney, how much more effective and targeted could your healthcare be?
I mean, that would totally revolutionize healthcare as we know it.
Right.
But with such groundbreaking technology, I imagine there must be some challenges along the way. So what are some of the hurdles that researchers are still facing with CHIMERA and biofabrication in general?
One of the biggest challenges is ensuring the long-term functionality of those bioprinted tissues and organs. We need to make sure they can integrate seamlessly with the body, receive the necessary nutrients, and function properly over time. And then, of course, there's the cost factor.
Ah, yes. The practical side of things. High-tech innovations don't usually come cheap. So what are we talking about in terms of cost for a system like CHIMERA?
Right.
And what about the cost of actually producing those bioprinted tissues and organs?
Yeah, those are big questions. Well, while specific pricing for CHIMERA isn't readily available, it's likely a significant investment, potentially costing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars.
Wow.
And the cost of producing bioprinted tissues and organs really depends on the complexity and the scale. But it's definitely a factor that researchers and companies are actively working to address.
So I guess for now, this technology is probably limited to those well-funded research institutions and companies?
Yeah, for the most part.
But as with any emerging technology, hopefully as production scales up and the technology becomes more refined, the cost will start to come down.
Absolutely. Increased adoption and technological advancements often go hand in hand with reduced costs.
Oh.
That's why it's so important to support the ongoing research and development in this field. We need to keep pushing those boundaries,
Hmm.
refining those techniques, and making this technology more accessible to everyone.
Because ultimately, the goal is to improve human health and well-being for all, right?
Exactly.
Not just for those who can afford the latest and greatest technology.
It's about democratizing access to these life-changing innovations and ensuring that everyone can benefit.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another important point. We've talked a lot about the scientific advancements, but what about the broader societal and ethical implications of biofabrication?
Yeah, that's true. We can't just focus on the science without thinking about the potential impact on society as a whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As we gain more control over biological systems and kind of blurring the lines between natural and artificial, we need to have those open and honest conversations about the ethical implications.
So what kind of ethical considerations are we talking about here?
Well, think about the potential for genetic manipulation.
Okay.
If we can design and print tissues with specific properties, what's to stop us from enhancing those properties beyond what's naturally possible?
Right.
Should we? Where do we draw the line?
That is a really weighty question,
Yeah.
and one that I don't think has a simple answer. It's like we're stepping into uncharted territory where the possibilities are exhilarating but also a bit daunting.
Yeah.
We've talked about the incredible potential of biofabrication and the ethical challenges it presents, but there's another layer to this discussion that we haven't touched on yet: the philosophical implications.
You're right. As we go deeper into biofabrication, we're not just pushing the boundaries of science and medicine, we're also kind of grappling with fundamental questions about the nature of life itself.
What do you mean?
Like, if we can create living tissues and organs in the lab, what does that say about our definition of life? Where does the boundary lie between the organic and the synthetic?
Those are some deep questions, ones that philosophers have been pondering for centuries.
Yeah.
And now, with advancements in biofabrication, they're becoming even more relevant and complex. I have to admit, this whole conversation is making me rethink what I thought I knew about biology and the future of medicine.
It's a paradigm shift for sure. And as we continue to explore the frontiers of biofabrication, we're bound to encounter more questions than answers.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of scientific exploration, right?
Yeah.
It challenges our assumptions, expands our understanding, and pushes us to think critically about the world around
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. And it's not just about the scientists and researchers. Everyone has a role to play in shaping the future of biofabrication, you know? We need to have those open and honest conversations about the potential benefits and challenges, the ethical implications, and the philosophical questions that this technology brings up.
I couldn't agree more. It's a conversation that needs to involve scientists, policymakers, ethicists, philosophers, and the public at large, because ultimately the future of biofabrication is in our hands. It's up to us to decide how we want to use this technology and what kind of world we want to create with it.
That's a powerful message to leave our listeners with. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to circle back to CHIMERA for a moment.
Okay.
We've talked about its capabilities and its potential applications, but what makes it stand out from other biofabrication platforms?
CHIMERA's strength really lies in its versatility,
Mm.
its ability to combine those multiple biofabrication techniques in a single streamlined system.
Okay.
It's like having a one-stop shop for tissue engineering, allowing researchers to explore a wider range of possibilities with greater precision and efficiency.
So it's not just about one specific technique or application, it's about providing a platform for innovation, a tool that empowers researchers to push the boundaries of what's possible in biofabrication.
Exactly. And as the technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more creative and groundbreaking applications emerge. It's a really exciting time to be involved in this field, and I have no doubt that we'll see some amazing breakthroughs in the coming years.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling both inspired and a bit overwhelmed by the sheer scale of what we've talked about today. It's clear that biofabrication is ready to revolutionize medicine and healthcare as we know it. But it also raises those profound questions about ethics, philosophy, and the very nature of life itself.
It's a lot to process, for sure. But that's what makes this field so captivating. It's not just about the science and technology, it's about exploring the frontiers of human knowledge and grappling with some of the biggest questions we face as a species.
And while we don't have all the answers, I think that's what makes this journey so exciting. We're all learning together, exploring uncharted territory, and shaping the future of biofabrication one step at a time.
And that's what makes it so important to engage in these conversations, to share our knowledge and perspectives, and to work collaboratively to ensure that biofabrication is used responsibly and ethically for the benefit of all humankind.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey exploring the potential of bioprinting to revolutionize medicine, and push the boundaries of our understanding of life and even challenge our definition of what it means to be human.
Definitely. It's a testament to the power of human ingenuity and just the boundless possibilities that lie ahead. But as we venture into this uncharted territory, we have to do it with enthusiasm, but also with caution,
Right.
making sure that these advancements serve the greater good.
Well said.
Yeah.
But before we get too philosophical, I want to bring it back to you listening right now.
Yeah. We've covered so much today, from the intricate details of CHIMERA to the broader implications of biofabrication.
Absolutely.
But now I'm curious, what are your takeaways from this deep dive?
Yeah, this is where the critical thinking comes in. We've laid it all out there for you,
Yeah.
the facts, the potential, the challenges.
Right.
Now it's your turn to reflect and form your own opinions.
Exactly. Like, what stands out to you? What excites you? What concerns you?
And most importantly, what questions does this raise for you about the future of medicine and healthcare and our relationship with technology?
If scientists can print complex tissues and even replicate organ structures, does that mean we'll be able to print fully functional organs on demand one day?
Right.
What would
Right.
that mean for healthcare, for society, for our understanding of life itself?
These are big questions, folks, and there are no easy answers.
Mm.
But that's the beauty of it. We're exploring uncharted territory, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and dealing with questions that were once the stuff of science fiction.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into biofabrication, keep those questions in mind. Do your own research, stay curious, and keep asking those tough questions.
Because the future of biofabrication and how it impacts our world is still being written. And who knows? Maybe you'll be one of the authors of that future.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world around you.